subordinated to that of the Bishop of Rome.
Charlemagne was the new Constantine, an emperor appointed to protect and extend the faith under the guidance of the Pope. In the tradition of the Franks, there came a time to crown his son as his appointed successor. But Charlemagne wasn't to be tricked again. Charlemagne ensured that the coronation ceremony took place not in Rome, but in Aachen. His son placed the crown on his own head. For Charlemagne, imperial power came direct from God, not from any priest, not even the successor of Peter. The new empire erected by Charlemagne did not last. The papacy had lost its protector. It was left defenseless in the snake pit of Italian politics, where men were prepared to steal, rape, and murder for St. Peter's seat. Some say that a woman became pope at this time, a Pope Joan. Her disguise was revealed when she gave birth to a son on a papal procession. At least that's the story. Needless to say, she is not recognized in the accepted list of popes. She defies the imagination. So do some of the true stories of the period. One who suffered was Pope Formosus. After his death, his successor had him dug up and put on trial in Rome.
A series of charges of corruption, bribery, simony of buying sacred things were leveled against the Pope. The trial went on for several days. He was found guilty. He was stripped of his pontifical vestments. The fingers that he'd used in blessing and ordination were hacked from his corpse, and his body was thrown into the Tiber.
The Roman people, dispirited by the events, turned on Pope Stephen. He was deposed, strangled in prison, and his body thrown to follow Formosus in the Tiber.
The papacy became the plaything of rival noble factions in Rome, and for quite a long time was in the personal gift of two ambitious, unscrupulous and immoral women, Theodore and Marozia. The situation is evidenced by the fact, for instance, that Pope John XI, who was made pope in his 20s, was the illegitimate son of Marozia by Pope Sergius III. Virtually none of them died in their beds. Many of them came to horribly sticky ends.
John VIII was bludgeoned to death by his own entourage. Leo V, murdered by his successor. John X, suffocated to death. Stephen VIII, horribly mutilated. Eventually, Marozia, the grand schemer, the whore of the popes, was arrested and imprisoned in Castel San Angelo. She was to remain imprisoned here for over 50 years. She had turned 60 when news reached her that her grandson, Octavian, had become pope at the ripe old age of 18. He did nothing to save her. The first pontiff to change his name, he became John XII, and within weeks monasteries prayed for his death. He had invented sins, the monks said, not known since the beginning of time. It was alleged that he gambled with the offerings of pilgrims, turned the Lateran to a harem, rewarded harlots with golden chalices, and before the high altar toasted the devil. He died aged 27 from a stroke while in bed with a married woman. It was the most degrading nadir of papal history. Things could only improve.